Hello, hello. Apologies for the extremely late lunch, but I'm going to be honest with you. I was listening to a very insightful conversation um, and decided to broadcast this a little later than scheduled. So, today I'm talking about comfort zones, and I'm going to talk specifically around three things about comfort zones because if you've ever struggled with maybe feeling imposter syndrome, maybe feeling comfortable or confident in doing something, you've worried about how it's perceived by other people, or maybe you just wish that you could get on with it, not procrastinate and throw it out the window, then this might be the episode for you. So, why am I even talking about comfort zones this week? I pride myself in creating content for my audience or I should say my audiences, because I have audiences who include single business owners. I have audiences that include authors, people that speak, and also working with some bigger companies, SME type companies as well, names that you might know really well and names that you might not. And with them, especially when they're in the more corporate space, it's about really reaching and engaging with those people within the teams. So, whenever I sit down to prepare any kind of broadcast, any kind of live stream, any kind of content, I always look at who are these people, who am I speaking to, and what do they need. But I'm going to be honest with you, this week, this one's for me. And let me start by explaining why I'm speaking about comfort zones. And by all means, if you're live on this and want to type any comments in the box or any questions, actually, please feel free to do so. But okay, if you're listening back on the replay too, I'd love to hear your thoughts on any of these that might resonate with you, any of these that might feel familiar to you, or any of these that kind of make you think, I see that in myself. I think that's me. I'm always nosy by nature. So I'm Jenny Kovacs. As you can see, I have to look behind me, otherwise I point in the wrong direction. Jenny Kovacs, the visibility queen, known actually internationally as the queen of being seen, because I help people just like you. I help businesses and I help companies to raise their professional profile, put their work and their value out there, and to be confidently and today comfortably seen. So why am I talking about comfort zones? Well, you may not know, and it's likely that you won't know because I haven't been overly vocal about this. But in a few days' time, from the time of recording this on Sunday, the 2nd of October, I am going to be entering for the second time now the London Marathon. And I say this and I laugh because I'm not actually a runner. I'm not trying to, be self-depreciating or anything else like that. I really am not a long distance runner. Anybody that knew me at school would tell you I was the 100, 200, 400 meters, high jump, long jump, hurdles, short, sharp bursts. A few decades on, I might not still be short, sharp bursts, but long distance running was never my thing. My sister was great at it, but it was never my thing. And in 2019, I entered the ballot for the London Marathon. I entered it because it was kind of like a weird bucket list thing. And it was something that I knew I couldn't do and wanted to push myself, push my boundaries to see, could I achieve something like this? So with much shock and admittedly quite a bit of swearing, in October 2019, I just finished a group call and opened up an email that said, congratulations, you got in. That's where the swearing came in. And then I thought, oh my gosh, I better start learning how to run. And it's been an interesting journey from there. Needless to say, because of what happened in 2020 with the pandemic, I ended up running a virtual version of the London Marathon in Staffordshire on my own, no crowds to cheer me on, which is what everybody told me would be the thing that would keep me going. So there's so much to say about this. So why do that, apart from it being kind of like a bucket list thing? Well, if you're interested in hearing just a small part of the story of why I'm running and specifically why I've chosen to run for a specific charity this year, I will try to remember to put a link in the comments so that you can have a look. So comfort zones is really prevalent for me this week. I have to say, there's not many things that make me feel as nervous as this. But this week, I've been feeling a mixture of excitement and nerves. The kind of nerves that tell me that this is a biggie, this is important, but not the kind of nerves that are going to stop me. As I reflected on this, I realized that it was really about comfort zones. So I wanted to share 3 things about comfort zones that actually are great for if you're about to attempt to run a marathon. I say attempt to run. Let's be honest here. This year I'm going to have to Jeff, which is a combination of run, walk, but do it I will. So if you're looking at me to, cross that finishing line in a couple of hours, you could be waiting a long time. If you are going to be in London and going to be spectating, do send me a message. Let me know. It'd be great to stop, high five you, wave, steal bananas from you, drink your water, eat anything that gives me more energy to keep going. So that's the first thing. So 3 things about comfort zones. The reason this came into my head wasn't only just around the marathon. I seem to have been having an incredible amount of conversations with companies just recently around professional development for their staff, especially if they have to show up on screen, if they have to do videos, host or participate in online meetings. And maybe before you didn't need to do that as much, but it's become a big part of what you do as business as usual. So I've been having all sorts of conversations about confidence on camera, which is the name of a course that I run, a self-study course. But it's around having that confidence on camera, not just for doing things like this, live streaming or making videos, but also for, as I say, conducting meetings, having to sell on the screen or sell from the screen, having to present products and services, having to talk about what your company does or what your business does, having to connect and engage. And there's a big belief that if you do something online, it's not quite as serious, it's not quite the same, it doesn't have as much gravitas as if you do it face to face or in the flesh. And that's simply no longer true. So here's where the comfort zone similarities between almost being on screen and video and the marathon come in. And I'm just looking down. So here's what you've got to think about. The first time you do it, it feels awkward. This was the same for me when I learned and did an introduction to NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming. It was the same thing for me when the first time I went out and tried to run and realized that I couldn't run for more than 60 seconds without wanting to stop. It felt awkward. It felt uncomfortable. Part of me didn't want to do it. And a very small part of me did, which I think is what kept me going and didn't make me stop. So there'll be times when you're either on screen doing a video, you won't want to do it. You could realize that once you've started streaming that the light's not quite right. So you've got half a light face and half a dark face and think, oh no, I need to stop. I need to delete it. I need perfection. There might be times where you go to say something and you fluff your words. Maybe you say the wrong word or forget the word that you want to say. Maybe you feel like you need a script. Maybe you don't like the way you sound, the way you look, the way you feel. It will feel awkward. It will feel awkward the first time, and it might feel awkward a few more times in. So whatever you're challenged with that is putting you out of your comfort zone now, personally or professionally, know that it's a thing and know that this too shall pass, but the consistency piece needs to keep doing that. So the second thing that I wanted to talk about was consistency itself. Now, I did create a video earlier today, a live stream. So if you want to know more about visibility and consistently specifically, then do go over to my YouTube channel. And of course, if you're already watching this on YouTube, just scroll up and you'll see the video from there, which I can't remember what it's called at the moment. I think it's consistency and something about visibility, but you'll find it. Do have a look at that. But here's the thing. Why to be consistent? Let's take videos, for example. If you are consistently showing up on video at work, showing up on video camera for meetings on your screen, it will become a consistent habit that won't feel like such a biggie when it really matters. That big meeting you've got, the presentation you've got, the pitch you've got, the idea you've got, the thing that you want to do. Maybe you want to sell something, sell yourself, sell your value, sell your products and services. Whatever that thing is, you will feel a bit more into a groove. And I found this when I was marathon training, and because there was a point in between then and now where I didn't consistently train, you kind of start to feel the reverse effects. I often liken this to taking a shower one morning in the year and saying, I'm good, I'm done for the rest of the year now, I've had my shower, I'm good to go. It's ridiculous when you say it like that, isn't it? But if you think of it in that way, then that consistency actually builds a muscle that has you able to keep going. And when it really matters, you feel more comfortable, more confident than you realize, thus putting you kind of back kind of in your comfort zone. But I think it's still healthy to feel a little bit of discomfort. Okay. The third thing that I would like to share about comfort zone. So the first thing was the first time or the first few times it will feel awkward. The second thing was consistency is the thing that gets you into the groove. So the third thing is about listening to those people around you. And it's funny because I found this both for video, and I still find this for video and for running. So when I told people that I'd got into the ballot and that I would be running the London Marathon and that I was completely new, I was kind of amazed at how many people gave me advice. And when I said, oh, is that what you do? They said, oh, no, I'm not a runner. I haven't got a clue. And this is something to be careful of in life and in business and in developing. Sometimes there are people that have studied a topic, they know it inside out. If you're asking them about the topic, they can still be, hugely helpful for you. But when it comes to the doing of the thing, seek advice from those people who have got a deeper insight than just, I've seen someone else do it or I've heard somebody else do it. This will help to banish those comfort zone nerves. So as I say, when I first started running, so many people were giving me or trying to give me advice that I had to kind of tune out and listen to someone who knew. And I was lucky enough to find that in a coaching program with somebody who helps people who have never run marathons before or don't think of themselves as runners to run marathons. And, they already know all the stumbling blocks. They know that there'll be a mindset piece. They already knew about this thing that they term maranoia. They already knew that that if you're running a marathon, especially your first marathon, that you might not eat properly because you might not know what to eat or how to eat. They knew that when you're training, there's a certain type of training that can be done as you get closer to the marathon date, and there's training to not be done. They knew all about tapering. They knew all about, jeffing, run, walking, when to do it, when not to do it. They knew all about those things. So why on earth listen to somebody who doesn't? Now, from a professional point of view, this often comes in the form of asking family members and asking friends. Now, on the surface, there's nothing wrong with this. But what happens is if somebody has your best interests at heart and they're frightened for you, and trust me when I say, when I told people that I would be running the marathon the first time, there were a number of people that told me that you could run the marathon and drop dead. Literally, that's not very helpful for me. When I'm looking at something like that. And it's the same for video. When I speak to people, there are so many myths and things out there about what it actually takes to make an effective video. Now, I know that I didn't twizzle my light quite so I've got a fully lit face. But if that really stops you from being able to enjoy, absorb, or learn from what I'm sharing with you now, it just doesn't make any sense, So when it comes to video, people will tell you, oh, you want to try this, you want to try that. I've made like thousands of videos over the years. I mean, I've been in business for 12 years, so you can imagine the number of videos I made, and you can imagine the number of rubbish videos that I made. I remember going and sort of taking video classes, for want of a better word, and when the lights came on, when the camera was in my face, I just did this. I became a very stoic version of myself. I literally moved like that. I looked, quite frankly, frightened, and the words didn't flow. My lips felt like they were quivering so much I couldn't string a sentence together. Now, I get it. Some people do video for the first time and they're not nervous about video. They don't mind how they come across. They don't have those issues. But if you want to do a great job with it, stop trying to cobble things together. Stop trying to listen to people who haven't made a video. When a family member or friend tells you, oh, on a video, you should do this more or should do that more. And I've actually coached people who've been paying me to work with them, and they're still listening to what other people who they're not paying are saying. And it's just like pulling them off track, pulling them so far away from where they want to. They won't now make a video, or they wouldn't next make a video. When I remember one client speaking to her on a call, and she was like, oh, I can't make videos now because somebody said that my head looks really small and it just looks odd, and maybe I should wear a hat to cover it, or something that was completely ridiculous like that. And all that does is cements any fears or adds on any additional fears to what you already had going on inside. So if you are looking at doing anything, it could be video, it could be marathon running, although I'm definitely not the expert on that. It could be being more visible, or it could be something that you're doing at the moment. Maybe you want to do more project management, better, effective project management. Maybe you want to sell more and you're selling globally around the world, so have to do it on camera. Get somebody who knows what they're talking about. Have a conversation with them, find out how they can help you, and if they'll be, if you're a help to them or a good fit for them. Find out, allow them to do that diagnosis, and then explore what you can do next. You could cobble it together. You could have, found this video on YouTube, and this could be the 100th video that you've watched about video or about being confident or about comfort zones. And that's great. But if there's something that you want to do and you want to do well, rather than taking consensus by public demand, why not go and find out from somebody who knows? So hopefully helpful. Like I say, I'm nosy by nature. I would love to know some of the things that maybe you're looking at, maybe the things that are putting on your comfort zone. And if you have actually run a marathon before or walked a marathon before, I'd love to hear your comments too. I will also put a link in the comments below, so that you can see why I decided to take this from kind of bucket list to actual marathon running. I'm just going to put my link in here. Just make sure I've got that. It'll let you know a little bit about my story, which, by the way, feels very uncomfortable to put out, because it also means that, and I'll just pop it on the screen because I don't know if it'll show on LinkedIn. It also means that I'm now having to be uncomfortable in sharing with you a part of my personal life, not even professional life, that you might not have known about. So double on comfort zone, but I'm willing to do it. Wish me luck for those 26.2 miles. And if you are coming to London to support anybody else, please, please, please let me know. If you're not and you want to support me in any way, you can support me, obviously, by sponsoring, or you can download the app, follow my progress, just check out my name. I reckon I'll do it in about 8 hours, so it'll be a long old slog. And even maybe send a message through the app. Send some messages of encouragement. Apparently they'll be flashing them up all the way throughout the day. And like I said, you'll have plenty of time to send me a message of encouragement. But I want to say thank you so, so much for watching. Thank you for sharing this, and bye for now.